Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics, where this video, I think we're going to paint it. You'll find out on the thumb. It's a little ways off from painting, but and I got the AC working, but I got to tie up a few things. So I'm going to start this video because I've already, waiting for the AC to be evacuated and stuff like that. I started sanding on it. Okay, so in the previous videos, all the body work's done, primed it, blocked the primer, primed it again, and all it needs to be is just sanded down. Okay, so you can get sandpaper anywhere. I recommend the wet and dry stuff. This stuff I got at Harbor Freight, 320 grit, and then this is 400 grit. Figured I'd just try them both. I don't know where I got to. Anyway, cut it, rip it in half, and then fold it like this. I use two hands. Fold it 3 ways, like that. Okay? And then when you sand, you flip it over like that when you wear it out. Okay, they do have, I had one, I don't know where it is. I don't use it very often. But it's like the sanding block. Like this. But it's soft, so it flexes. And what that does is it keeps your fingers from, see if you sand like this and you got your fingers in there, basically it's going to show 3 finger indentations because you're pushing like that. See? So that's what the soft block keeps that from doing. But if you're experienced, like I am, do it, but keep your hands straight and go in a circular motion. We got this really slick. Basically all we're doing is taking the texture off the primer, sanding it down so the paint sticks, and I'll show you here. Start back here. Because at this point, you should have already taken out all the 80 grit scratches, all the pinholes, fixed all that before the last primer. Okay. But, there will be some spots, I'm sure, that you have to either re-prime, which I'll show you here in a minute. You get down to bare metal. So you just kind of keep her going in broad strokes. Kind of, and like I said, don't dig in with your fingers. Okay, you can see that's pretty slick. So when you get like that, use both hands. I got one holding the camera. I'll do it with my pant leg. So like that, and get rid of the dust, and keep sanding. And do the other side, and then flip it, do that side, do all 3 sides, keep going and going and going until it just pretty much wears out. Then after that point, you don't throw it out because it's called wet and dry for a reason. So you get a bucket of water, put a little bit of soap in it. I'll probably use these old pot. Probably use this one here. Fill it up with water, soap, and you dip this in. I'll show you later when I get to that point. Dip it in water and then sand, and you'll feel it sanding again compared to it being dry. And keep dipping in water to clean it out, and keep going like that. Now I'm using the dry. Okay, so I got 320 and 400. You really only need 320 for what I'm doing, because I'm doing the single stage enamel. Well, yeah, I'm painting it all single stage enamel, the Nason 2K full thing urethane, and I'll show you that here in a little while when we get to it. And but I'm going to be doing the flames, which is yellow, orange, and red in base coat, and then I'm going to clear it. But I'm going to be clearing over the black as well. So when I do the flame, we're not doing that in this video. This video, we're just going to paint it all black. And then after it dries for quite a while, we're going to mask off the flames, and then paint the yellow, orange, and red, and then we'll unmask it, and then scuff down the whole. Well, I think it's going to be going in. I haven't checked my template, which I'll get to here in a minute too. I believe it goes into the door. So we're basically going to be clearing the whole front end and this front door. Some people say, oh, clear the whole car. No, it's not needed. It'll match. It'll be nice shiny black, clear. I don't think it'll be noticeable at all. You're painting it with the same gun, same texture and everything. It should all kind of match. Okay, so but if you're doing just base coat, I would suggest using like 400 grit, 400 or 500, 600 grit for your final sanding, because the base coat's going to be a lot thinner, and you don't need more. You don't need a lot of it to cover. The enamel's nice and thick; it covers up. Hell, you could do it with 220 grit and cover it up with enamel, but I like doing at least 320 to 400 grit. Okay, so I already sanded the roof, even though it got some raindrops on it. You probably can't see it. Scuffed it all down. Started over here. See where you, mainly the little edges here, you'll get down to metal. So you want to kind of spray a little primer on there before you paint it. You know, right around the little edges. Well, not so much there, a little bit there. Okay, so I sanded down this quarter panel, just hand sanded it with the 320, and started on this door. I was really just going to do this side. So that's where we're at. What we're going to do is sand it all down, reprime this little thing here was missing. It's, there should be two of them here. It's like this. So I made this little piece of metal. JB welded it in there, so that's got to be primed. A little bit of primer there, a little bit of primer on the bare metal. Scuff that down, and then we'll get it prepped to paint. And the biggest thing you need to do is wash it right before you paint it. So we'll go over all that later. We got to blow out all the dust from the shop and wash the car down, let it drip dry for a little bit, bring it in here, mask it, and paint it all in one shot. Because if it sits for a day before you paint it, it's going to collect dust. So you got to wait for a good day. This might take a while because you're supposed to get 3 days of 20 to 40% chance of rain. So I can paint it while it's raining out, but I'd rather be at like today, you know, 75, 80 degrees and no humidity and all that. So anyway, you got to pick the perfect day to paint it, not too much wind. We're going to, I'm putting it in this bay here. Then we're going to set this fan up here with the door closed down to the top of this. Put some cardboard on each side. So this is your exhaust fan here. It's blowing out all the paint and stuff out this way. So you don't want a real windy day where the wind's coming in and all that. Okay, we'll go over that when it gets close. Okay, I think, was that it? Everything I wanted to go over? I think so. That's all I'm doing right now, sanding it. Still might do a little bit of work to the AC, but so yeah, okay, so I don't like to use the water. So I'm using the dry sandpaper on the tops, okay? Because I don't really want to get all that, you do it with the water bucket, and then all that filmy sandpaper stuff gets all in, and it's harder to clean out with a pressure washer and all that. And it all drips down your arms, shirt sleeves, stuff like that. So I do all the tops with the dry sandpaper, and then once it wears out, I'll probably go like from here down with the water bucket, and that way it just falls down, so that way you're not, I just real frugal with the sandpaper, because you could sit there and just do a little sanding, throw it in the trash, a little sanding, and use 100 sheets of sandpaper. We're only going to be using about 5 sheets altogether. So, $6 worth of sandpaper, and we'll $5.99, and we'll get her done. Okay, so, I think that's all we're going to go over right now. So, like I said, I'm going to do the whole car like I showed you. So, I'll be back when I pretty much got it all sanded and ready to go, unless something comes up, and I'll show you. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys, I got these water and soap in this pot. You take your wet and dry. So I got a lot of texture on this because I'm using that cheap Harbor Freight gun. It feels like a brand new piece of sandpaper when it's wet. You can use a block if you want. Yeah, I can feel it cutting pretty good. Now this car is going to be far from perfect. You probably won't notice nothing with the camera, but there's little waves on the roof, little spots I showed you in previous videos. I'm not going for a show car. I mean, it's going to look really good, but it's going to be in between a show car and a driver quality. I'm not going to go overboard. I mean, this quarter panel here I sanded, there are some waves in it. But there was an awful lot of Bondo work on both quarter panels. And you can buy that thick feather fill type primer and just lay on 3 or 4 coats, block it, 3 or 4 more coats, block it. You can keep doing that till it's perfect. But you're spending a lot more time and a lot more money. That feather fill type primer is not cheap anymore. And but yeah, if you wanted it perfect, you could spend another 40 hours or so blocking and priming and blocking, and I'm not too concerned about it. Like I said, I plan on driving this a lot, and I know it's gonna get screwed up. First time I took my Chevelle out after painted it, drove it up to AutoZone, and I was actually in the car, and a fucking idiot right beside me pulls in and opens the door right into my car. Bam! I don't know what I said or something, but for a second I felt like killing the fucker. But that's gonna happen, I bought a brand new truck in 2001. Went to a Kroger grocery store. It was about a couple days after I bought it. And came out, and the bottom of the door, driver's door, all creased in. 2 days after I bought it. So yeah, guys, things are gonna happen to your car after it's painted. You don't notice it before it's painted, and that's probably why a lot of these guys leave it. You know, the rat rods and the patina and all that crap. They won't notice a door ding or dent or anything, but I don't like cars like that. I like painting them. So you're gonna have to expect that. So yeah, see, that's the thing, you know, this who knows where it's going to be parked. It don't matter where it's parked. Grocery store, AutoZone. Somebody's going to bash their door into it. Somebody's going to, you know, tap their Honda bumper into it. It's just going to get messed up. And you just got to keep it, I don't know, either spot it in or buff it or, you know, keep it up. So yeah, that's why I don't really go for really high quality paint jobs, because like I said, it's a driver, and all my cars I built are for drivers. So, you know, I'm not gonna spend double the amount of time and, oh shit, who knows how much time and or how much paint for the best paint you can buy. I think the Nissan 2K that I buy is the best single stage out there. Said I painted, well, my truck's all dirty, but I painted that truck 10 years ago. Same black. If I wash it there, it's pretty shiny. It's got a lot of overspray from sitting around in front of the shops and everything for the last 10 years, but, and I've never waxed it or nothing. But it's still really shiny. So that's how this car is going to be. I know other people spend, one guy on a forum was he spent $2,500 on the paint and $1,500 on his primer. He's all ready to go do it himself. $4 grand just for paint and primer. Crazy. Okay, well, I don't want to ramble too much, but anyway, that's the process for water sanding, and like I said, that's what I'm going to do most of the sides and stuff with that. Okay, well, I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm back. It's been oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 days since that last segment. It's just been hasn't really been cold. Colder than, it's been averaging 75 to 80 degrees, but the last 3 or 4 days it's been like 60, and just like this, you know, feeling California, but looking California, but feeling Minnesota. So it's kind of depressing. Just anyway, I started trying to, I ordered the fittings for the AC gauges there that never came with it. They haven't came yet. I was going to do that. The AC seems to be holding the charge still. I wanted to re-bleed the brakes, starting with the master cylinder. Re-bleed that, then do the wheels again. But then my brake bleeder tool that I just bought, the little pump, screwed up, and I guess when I had it in the box, it leaked all brake fluid in there, and they say you're not supposed to have brake fluid inside that pump or it'll ruin the seal. Sure enough. So I got to get another one of them. I wanted to get all this done before I painted it, but it's got to the point where let's get her painted. Okay, so I just went over a few little spots. I missed one ding right here. I don't know how I missed it. Anyway, fix that and then put a little bit of primer over the bare metal spots. There wasn't very many, just a, you know, a little on the edges. Usually on the edges there you'll wear through to the metal. Okay, and I got to take the tail lights out, and then that's it. Just taking the tail lights out and masking the rest off, and we'll bring her in here and paint it. So well, I'm gonna wash it first. The secret to a good paint job is to always wash the car before you paint it. And the reasoning is you can sit there and blow air and use a rag and do all that on the outside, think you got it good, but you don't, because all the dust and dirt, sand stuff gets all in the edges here, gets all underneath moldings and stuff. So give it a good wash. I'm going to use a little bit of soap since I was working on it while it was in primer, and I had some greasy. I wanted to do all that stuff before I even, you know, got grease marks on primer. But I use a little soap and pressure wash it down. Let it dry real good, and then it's ready to paint. Mask her up and paint. Okay, we'll go over a few things. If you're new, I'm using, let me just pull this out of here. Okay, this is my favorite paint here, Nason 2K Full Thane, single stage urethane. This last year was about 115, now it's like 178. I think it was 178, and then the hardener. I think it was about 300 bucks altogether. You're looking at about 300 bucks for some good paint, hardener, you know, reducer. I already got some reducer here. I got enough. Okay, before I forget, which I was gonna go say it at the end, we're just painting it black right now. And then I'm gonna let it dry for a week or two, preferably more like 2 weeks. And then we're gonna paint the flames. Now the flames, if you're good at it, you can do it freehand. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube, all that stuff. So I bought these stencils because I like the flames that this guy did. Now if you wanna see it, it's called Bag of Flames. Search that on YouTube. He's only got 2 videos, 13 years old. Okay, he's selling stencil. It ain't very much, like 25 bucks plus shipping. So I ordered that. I haven't unpacked it yet, but you basically put it over top the car and you use like a chalk and a little thing. It's kind of hard to explain, but anyway, and then you outline the flames with tape. Okay, so I'm going to use, I hope this is still good. There's a little bit left of orange from painting the 72 Nova. I got some red, 2 things of red. It doesn't matter whether it's enamel or base coat or urethane or whatever. It'll be all cleared over it. So we're gonna go, the only thing I haven't got is yellow. So there's a place on eBay that sells, I guess they're new because I hadn't seen them before. And it says a quart ready to spray, which means it's thinned down with a reducer. Base coat. I think it's $48 shipped for a big quart. And and it's just basic colors. Well, not basic, but they had, you know, several oranges, reds, yellows. So I want to get a bright, I don't know exactly what code, but like a Corvette yellow. That's going to be the main part, and then it's going to fade into orange and red. So I got the orange, got the red. If my paint store don't have it cheaper than 48 bucks for a quart of yellow, then I'll order it off eBay. And then it's going to be cleared. All that's going to be cleared. And I got some clear from a while back, maybe a year or two, I think probably when I painted my Corvette. This used to be 115 bucks for the activator and clear, but it's probably like that black paint. It's probably gone up to, you know, 100 and who knows, 60, 80 bucks. Anyway, I got way more than enough for that. So that's what we're using for the flame job, okay? Just to go over that. This black is what we're using to paint the whole thing. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna get them stencils out. because I'm pretty sure it goes into the door. I'm pretty sure some flames go into the door. If not, or if I change my mind and just have flames going to the fender, that black paint, you can cover it in 2 coats. I always recommend putting at least 3 on there, so it's going to last a long time, and it'll last forever. But believe me, like I said, on my truck, it's been on there for 10 years. If I cleaned up all the crap on it there, it would be shiny, just as shiny as the day I painted it 10 years ago. So 3 coats. So what I'm going to do, let's say the flames go into this door, I'm just going to put 2 coats on the front end and the door and the 2 front doors. 2 coats of black, and then 3 coats on the rest of it. Okay? And then after we do the flames and everything, I'll mask it off and it'll be cleared. Put probably 3 good coats of clear on all the front end and 2 doors. Okay, so that's the way we're gonna do it. Okay, I guess that's all I'm gonna go over. Like I said, blow out the garage with dust. I did the best I can. Let it settle down for a while. You can wet the floor down with some water if you want. And all that is just basically common sense. Just don't have any trash floating around. Bugs. There's no bugs lately. The bug season's going to be here like real soon. I'm sure there are kind of bugs and everything now, but there's little seasons of like 2 weeks worth of these little gnats, and they just come in droves like friggin' locusts. I'm not sure exactly when, but man, you don't want that. Okay, and then those big look like those, I think they're actually mosquito eaters, but they look like giant mosquitoes. Those goddamn things that they get in your paint, whoo, they really screw it up. Luckily there isn't any of them. Well, I've seen maybe a couple, but anyway, if you get any of that stuff floating around, don't paint your car. Wait till they're gone, or just seal up your shop for a couple of days and then paint it. That type of thing. Bugs just kill a paint job worse than dust. Okay, I don't want to ramble too much. I'm going to be painting with just this little compressor. You can paint with just a little, got on that 5 horsepower or something right here. Harbor Freight. 20 gallon, whatever it is. Okay, it works great. I've been using them years and years ago. I used to have a big 50 gallon thing, but these little 20 gallon ones just work just as good. Yeah, they'll be running a lot, but you don't need a whole lot of pressure to paint a car. Okay, so that's all we're using. We're using that. Oh, I didn't go over the Harbor Freight guns. Just bought, well, I probably did, but just bought 2 new guns in case one's a dud. And believe me, you will catch a bad one every now and then. I don't know what it takes to fix them, but I haven't returned them. But okay, so you don't want to be sitting there ready to paint, open a new gun, and it's a dud. So I got 2 of them. They're like $14.99 each. Okay, then this one will go in the shit pile. And here's a couple more here. They're just not worth taking apart and cleaning. These plastic jugs, you can't really clean them. You know, metal ones you probably could if you had a parts cleaner, but these plastic jugs, you can't really clean them. And there's a whole box of the old ones there. They're just cheap enough. They're disposable. I use them as I use a new one every paint job, which ain't very often. So I've used this one here for this whole car, painting the jams, doing a lot of priming. Done probably a bunch of other little stuff like painting the. No, I did that in a spray can, the El Camino roof, but little jobs. I've been using it for about a year. But right before I paint a car like this, like we're fixing to do, then I'll use a brand new gun. Okay, I'll come back when I get it masked off, and we'll go over it. We'll see how we can set this up. I'm not a big YouTuber. I can't afford to be buying friggin' cameras like the big guys, like you know, buying them up all the time. Yeah, one YouTuber, he left his house and forgot his camera, so he just went over to Walmart or whatever and bought a $900 GoPro, and they can afford that. I can't. So I've got to wrap this up. Hopefully I got some. I think I got some here. This plastic saran wrap looking stuff, and I have to cover the lens up so it doesn't get overspray on it. Okay, if you get overspray on that lens, you screwed it up. You can't really wipe it off with thinner or anything. So we're going to try to do that. Set you up somewhere. I don't have a little tripod anymore. It kept making clicking noise in the camera. So I took that off. Basically, I can't use that anymore. So I don't have a tripod deal. But I'll hook you up somehow. And, well, I'll show you a little bit on the spray pattern and all that. And then I'll set it up and I'll show you paint me either in maybe partly regular motion and then fast motion, time lapse or something. Okay, well, I guess that'll be all. I want to get everything out of the way before I forget. Okay, so I'm going to wash her down with my pressure washer. Yeah, I haven't cut my grass yet. I haven't fixed my lawnmower yet or bought another one. But yeah, I'm just spray her down real good. Get in all the edges, open the hood, spray under the hood, door jams, wipe everything down. Yeah, and after you wash it, get in there and wipe down all the door jams and all that stuff. Get all the crap out of there. So yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, I'll be back when it's ready to paint. Okay guys, it's a nice bright sunny day, about 70 something degrees out, back to normal. I don't think I showed the dogs here. How you guys doing? You gonna be okay while I paint the car? Y'all be okay? Okay. Okay. See out here, there's the fan, carboard. It's a little windy, but not much. You could sit there and cut out some cardboard and tape it and block the little areas out, but this is pretty much good enough here. If it was like blowing in real bad or something, I'd say don't paint it or wait. Okay, so I got her all masked up. It's been another couple of days. I was going to do it yesterday, but right when I got it masked up about 2 or 3 o'clock, they said it was going to rain for chance of rain, and it was all cloudy and ready to look like it was ready to rain, but it never did. But it's probably best I waited another day. So anyway, it's all masked off. Of course, it's been sitting here for a day or two, so now it's probably got some dust on it, so I'm going to wipe it down. Probably I'll use like a paper towel with wet paper towels down, wipe it, and then use a dry paper towel. Okay, and then after that, that'll just get the little layers of dust that's been sitting here for a couple of days. And then after that, I use this tack cloth, and then that'll get all the rest of it off. Okay, so this will be my tripod right here, my jack handle. I'm going to set you up there. We'll look about like that. I'll show you some regular motion and then some fast motion, like I said. Okay, with a car, you don't just start at one end and go all the way around, because by the time you get around, it'll be dry. You'll have a big area with overspray. So what you got to do is you got to do it in sections. So the way I'll probably do this, let's say it's going to be a little bit tricky, because I only want to put 2 coats on the front and then 3 coats on the rest. mainly because I don't need the extra coat on the front, and I got to save paint. I don't want to be running out of paint. I don't have more than enough. Okay, so on a car, this doesn't matter too much because you only have this section here and this section here to blend. So what I like to do is I'll start up here, do half, lean over, do half the roof, okay? Then come down and do the quarter panel, just the quarter panel, okay? Then you come over here, the other side, and do this half of the roof. That way you're blending in both sides there so you don't have a dry spot in the middle. Still wet. Come down, do this quarter panel. Okay, do that quarter panel, you can come over here and do the tailgate. Shoot that. Then you come over here and you can do 1 or 2 doors. These doors are kind of small, so I'm going to come across and do these 2 doors. And when I do them 2 doors, I'll come over the other side and do these 2 doors. Okay? And what you're wanting to do, I'll show you a little bit before we get started once I mix the paint up, is you want to overlap your spray pattern. The spray pattern, I don't have let me grab a pen here in a second. Okay, so when you do them 2 doors, then you got the whole car except for the front. So you come over here and do half the hood, spraying half the hood, come down, do the fender. Okay, and of course come along, do a little bit of front area, and then come over here on this side and do the other half. And then this fender. And that's it. Then you start your next process. You wait about, you don't have to wait too long on the first coat. In about 75 degrees it'll tack up, and by the time you make it around. So you could probably just start on the second coat immediately, or if you want to wait a few minutes, you can. Second coat, same procedure, same way. Do that. And then you'll have to probably wait about 20-30 minutes after the second coat. Second coat you want to put on a little heavier so it covers real good. And then you do your third coat, and then that's it. That's all you need for enamel. If you're doing clear, it's a whole different story with clear. Dry's different, the base coat. Okay, so I should have a couple of pens here. I'll show you right on here where you can see when I get my gun. You adjust your gun. You turn the top. Got 2. Okay, you got this here determines how much paint's coming through. So you adjust that till you feel like it's right, and it'll also adjust the trigger too. So if you don't got no paint in there, the trigger's only going to move. So you pull that out to the trigger, it goes all the way back. Okay, then this is your spray pattern here, the side one, and then it's got a right here is your air mixture, but I also got another air regulator here with a gauge, and the gauge, I don't know exactly what pressure you want to put it at. Everybody's a little bit different, and I don't think I can read that gauge, but you can adjust it here or have an external one on here. This is a little water trap. Okay, so with this knob here, what you want to do is turn it all the way in one way, and it'll come out like that. And then you want to adjust it out till you get this type of pattern. Big oval pattern as far as it'll go. If you get it too much, you'll see it kind of get splotchy at the ends. You don't want that. You want a nice pattern. Some guns, you get expensive guns there that'll do a real big pattern. We don't have that. We just got a cheap gun. So the pattern is only going to be maybe like that a little bit more. So when you paint, you're going across the panel like that. And then when you do your second coat, overlap it a little bit, probably about a quarter to, some people do half, but it depends on how wet you get this first coat. You really don't want it too wet. You don't really need to concentrating on getting it the wet look until the very last coat. Then you really kind of lay it on, but then your chances are of getting runs in it. So let's say you want to do 50%. So you do a pattern like that, then you go underneath, do 50%, and then 50%. As long as it's overlapped a little bit, in between that much and 50%, that's good. Okay, so I'll show you that a little bit before we start. Once I get the paint mixed up, paint, you gotta, depends on what type of paint and everything, you just mix your paint, a little bit of hardener, a little bit of reducer, mix it all up, strain it, put it in your gun, and you're ready to go. Just make sure you can mix it all up beforehand in a gallon can, or mix it up as you go, which I'll probably do. And just every time you mix it up, make sure you do it the same ratios. Okay, so that's it. Next time you see me, I'll set you up on this makeshift tripod, and I'll do probably one coat, and then I'll turn it off. Then I'll paint the rest of the car in fast motion. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, guys. Yeah, I can't read that. You can read that. That's what I got it set up. Like that. That's right. Okay. Okay guys, finished painting it about an hour ago. It's a little dark on this side. I got a problem with the lights. Anyway, let's take a look at it. They come out pretty damn shiny, pretty straight. You know, it's a little bit wavy, like I said it was going to be, but I didn't want to go overboard on all the Bondo work and everything. Yeah, you can see that body line in that rear doors I'm telling you about. Okay, yeah, like I said, I just put 2 coats on the front, 3 coats on the rest. And yeah, you can see them fiberglass cracks right here too. Probably won't notice them outside. Fluorescent lights probably showing them real good. As far as I can tell, there really isn't that much trash, little teeny spots that would buff out real easy, but said I'm not a big believer in buffing. I'm not going to buff it or nothing. Okay. I'm just going to let it sit in here tonight. And then bring it out in the sun. It's going to be sunny from now on. I think all this, yeah, Minnesota, Seattle type weather is over with. Cloudy, drizzly, shitty. It's supposed to be in the mid 70s, sunny for the rest of the foreseeable future, probably till next winter. So you're gonna bring it outside, let it dry real good in the sun for probably a week or 2, and then we'll bring it in here and do the flames. We'll go over that in the video for that, but here's the little pattern bag of flames like I told you earlier. You can look it up if you want. I'll have to watch it over again too. But yeah, I like the design on that, and it'll just be a little bit helping hand instead of just free drawing the flames. It's more of getting it even. You do like one side, half the hood, fender, and then you flip it over and do the other side so it's even and uniform, the same flames on each side. I opened the package, but I haven't laid out the pattern yet. So like I said, I don't know how much it goes into the door, but you can set it back if you want. I kind of got an idea where I want it. I want the yellow to come up to about here. Anyway, we'll go over that on the video for that. I'll probably have some other videos coming up. You know, I can't just have nothing for 2 weeks. We'll go ahead and I got the new gaskets for the tail lights. Gonna put them on there, the marker lenses, the molding here, the back panel, we can finally put that on there, the Nomad emblem here, do all the back basically. I may try again. I tried on my 78 Nova for the tint, but I may clean up them inside of the rear windows and the back window and retint them, so that may be next video. Get some of that cheap dark tint at Walmart, try it again. It didn't turn out very good on the 78 Nova. Just kind of, I think I had it as clean as I could get it, but we'll try it again on this. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not a show car. This thing's going to be ripping across the country multiple times. Anyway, yeah, let me know what y'all think. I think it turned out pretty good, even though I can't see it in the sun. I don't want to pull it out. It's a little bit tacky. Nothing's going to, well, it's pretty dry. I think the front was, yeah, it's a little, if you push it, leave a fingerprint. Anyway, I'm going to leave it inside here overnight. Just make sure there's no dirt and trash and everything getting on it. And it's dry enough that if any does get on it, it's not going to stick. Okay, very little orange peel. There's probably a little bit. But like I said, it's going to look a whole lot better outside. You're not going to have these fluorescent lights showing up everything. Okay, so I think that's it. Yeah, I'll get some more videos going. Got little adapters here for the AC. So we'll put them on there, hook up the gauges. I got another brake bleeder coming. Like I said, this little deal here got fluid in it. But I bought a different one, ordered a different one from eBay, where you hook up your air hose. Hook up the air hose to it, then you just turn a little thing, and it sucks it on and off. So I think that's going to be a lot faster. So yeah, those are the two major things. I want to get the brake split real good, get the AC working real good, and we'll start putting it together, tint the windows, and then like I said, in a week or two we'll do the front flames. So anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, give me some comments, tell me what you think, and we'll see y'all next video. Thanks everybody for watching.